Welcome back to another episode of Passion Beer. Nick with the rest of the crew, Shane and Mike.
Thanks for joining us again, Mike.
No
Much
problem.
appreciated.
It is a labor of love.
Well, he came up for this special treat, and I need to give a shout out to Bryan out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He sent this one out our way. It's the Santa Fe State Pen Bourbon Barrel Aged Porter.
And the non-bourbon barrel aged one is a really, really solid porter.
It's actually probably one of my top 5 favorite porters out there. It's right out of Santa Fe Brewery, so Santa Fe, New Mexico, not too far from Albuquerque. This one I have not seen when I went out to Albuquerque, so this is a real special treat for me. I'm pretty sure it's like a limited edition or something. It clocks in right around 7%.
And throwing anything in bourbon barrels, hopefully, is a good thing.
Well, as we've seen in the past.
Well, yeah, maybe not anything, but nonetheless.
Absolutely. Let me give you guys a little bit of love here.
That is a very, very dark brown.
I mean,
Question mark?
It's definitely a darker. I mean, it's a porter.
Yeah, what you
it's
expect.
Typically what you'd expect out of a porter. No big surprises right off the look, but
a little bit ahead if you give it some swirls, but I mean nothing much in the way, and I wouldn't expect too much of that, especially
bourbon barrel aged.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't get much bourbon, but there's a nice amount of like chocolate.
Yeah, there's
like
a good amount of
stuff.
chocolate, caramel, and
a little bit of coffee I get too.
You get
coffee roast.
You get a lot of that off the typical State Pen porter. I mean, there is a slight undertone of the bourbon in there, but definitely not as overwhelming as.
No, I mean I think the porter qualities itself come through more than the barrel does, and the nose anyway.
But it's definitely an awesome smell.
Very good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That is delicious.
And you do get that bourbon in there. It's kind of more on the back end for me, and there's certainly not a lot of booziness going on.
No, not at all.
It's
not that
which
high.
is nice because you keep the integrity of the porter.
Absolutely.
There.
It is pretty well carbonated though, which was surprising. I thought it was going to be a lot like a thicker body, but I mean it's very, very.
It's not sticky. It's not.
That's one thing you said.
Kind of nice and clean.
The body is very light. I mean,
it is.
You expect a heavier body from a porter of sorts, but the State Pen is typically a lighter body, and I think it's very, very smooth. And
this is really kind of like a sessionable barrel aged porter.
Absolutely.
Is that
I think what makes it that is because the barrel qualities aren't the forefront. They're not the centerpost of the.
It adds a nice note to it, but it's not hitting you over the head.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I think the porter qualities come through. Yeah, definitely. What about the ratings?
Well, I guess I'll start. So,
why don't you start?
Neither of you will be jaded by my review. I'm going to have to clock in, give this one a solid 90. I think this is fantastic. Short of, I would have liked a little bit more of the bourbon qualities in there, but overall, being a solid porter, this takes the cake for it.
It's good. It drinks really easy too.
Very sessionable, very enjoyable, and definitely a great attempt at bourbon porter on Santa Fe's.
Definitely. I feel like the lights just went out here too. And now they're coming back up.
I'm going to have to agree with Nick. I will go 90 as well. I really enjoy the porter qualities of this beer, and that. I mean, the flavors, the chocolate and a little bit of roast in there, and then you just have that hint of bourbon, and it's clean, it's sessionable, it's everything that I would expect from a beer of this style. So
Mike, are you ready for this? You ready for Shane's 78?
I'm ready for Shane's like 62.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 50. No, no, I'm gonna go 89. I mean, I think for me, I wanted just a little bit more bourbon, but that doesn't really take a lot away from it. I think the undertones of the bourbon are there. It's nice. It's really easy drinking, and it's a really good beer.
It just shows what can happen. It shows what can happen when you have a solid foundation when you do the barrel aging.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Brian,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for sending this out, and Nick, thanks for sharing it with us.
Absolutely, yes. Cheers.
Cheers.